Hello, my name is Jake and I'm one of the artists over on 2000 AD. This is the first part of what I hope will be an ongoing series on projects I'm doing for 2000 AD and just showing you a little bit of how I work and the panels, how they all come together for the actual publication. So the first thing I'm going to do, which is me really kind of just warming up and getting used to doing this sort of thing, is I'm going to do something from the project will be coming out next 2000 AD, and that is PROTEUS VEX, Book 3, and I am now drawing the mighty FARRAGO, which is his ship, which was a brilliant design by Henry Flint, which I am now very lucky to be able to draw. And it's a cube, that's it basically, but what a cube. So this series is very much, you're going to see my processes, you're going to see me making every mistake under the sun, and we'll see how it goes. So I hope you enjoy. So if you're going to look at my actual roughs in my pad for this panel, you'll see I've basically just drawn a cube. The only thing I have in mind is it's just captions on this page, so I'm just kind of really sort of free-flowing here. I don't really have a huge plan. I know this whole sort of like first part of this episode is basically a dogfight and a pursuit, and so I know that the sort of ships in it that are pursuing him and he's fighting with, they only sort of appear so far in this episode, so it's all a little bit throwaway for want of a better word. So I'm just kind of just feeling it out and trying to work out where everything's going to be placed. This is page 1, so I need to take into consideration also where the titles are going to go, and just trying to keep things in mind like that. So there's the cube, and now let's have a play and see what I'm going to do. Okay, the first ships are going down. Once again, don't have an idea what these ships are going to look like. I'm just sort of playing more with the sort of juxtaposition, for want of a fancy word. And I've just had an idea. The FARRAGO is a very, very strong ship, and you don't want to get hit by it. So I thought, well, that's quite a nice idea. Let's get a little bit of action in there. And we got things happening on a diagonal, which always sort of implies action too. So yeah. It's sort of done a little shimmy into that one, according to that. That must be the idea I'm trying to throw down there. And what I love about drawing these space battles is, you know, there is no up or down in space, so you can orientate these things in any position really, and that makes for a very interesting scene. You know, it's amazing how interesting a picture can become if you kind of present it in just a more unusual way. So something upside down challenges you a little bit more than something that's just presented to you on a plate. Okay, and the explosions there, by the way it's being hit, you're trying to like carry on that movement through it, which all sort of helps sell the shot. It's sort of it's interesting. It's often not the sort of like punching picture that's the thing that sells it. It's the actual reaction to it that kind of gives it its movement. Okay, so obviously putting in some kind of planet or moon here, and once again it's all about like the position of it in relation to everything else. and we're sort of like firing out of it here to just add more impact to the actual panel. So I'm probably pretty much settled on this being the way it'll present, and everything is just about pushing things out into the reader. It's what I guess you would call it a splash kind of panel. So it's dynamic, and that's part of the fun. The ship it's just a cube, you know. How do you make a cube dynamic? So that's great, and that's what's fun about PROTEUS VEX, is you get all these really weird characters that, you know, you have to kind of make express, and they might not have sort of traditional faces. Bit of tidying up. And this is sort of, as I say, a very gentle sort of lead-in for me. This is all quite new. I'm a bit of a Luddite, to be honest with you, and so I'm just kind of learning, and drawing the FARRAGO is probably quite an easy way into sort of learning all the other things I'm trying to do. So I hope you'll bear with me, and I hope you'll join me on these adventures because I have a few sort of like interesting little tricks that I'd like to share with you, and you know, I'm not going to be giving away any of the story plot points, but you're going to see some sneak peeks into what's happening in upcoming stories, and you'll see this probably more in the next episode, but I'm just putting this onto a separate layer because that really helps the colorist, because I know all this stuff will disappear into the blackness of the page, and so anything that will help Jim Boswell, who'll be colouring this, I'm sure he'd be very grateful for. So that's it basically, I think, and we'll be starting in part 2, where we'll be taking this rough and making it a little more print worthy, and hopefully try and keep the energy in it and keep it dynamic. So I hope you'll join me for that. Thank you very much for your time.